Dr. Susan Keller-Mathers from the International Center for Studies in Creativity, and I am here today out in Durango, Colorado with 3 teachers and leaders of the Da Vinci School. And I'd like them to introduce themselves, and then they'll tell you a little bit about this new concept and their new high school, Da Vinci.
I'm Roxy Mitchell. I'm a photography teacher in Da Vinci.
I'm Krista Carpel. I'm co-teacher leader in Da Vinci, and I am an art teacher.
I'm Sabina Furtauer, and I'm co-teacher leader for Da Vinci School of Creativity, and I also teach math and creativity in our foundations class, and I also teach German.
Hi, welcome. Welcome. So I know you were talking earlier, we're in the art room now, and the concept was kind of hatched here. So maybe the two of you can tell us a little bit about how'd you come to a school like this?
So it was 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. Our school was undergoing a transformation, a move to the small learning community model. And our administration challenged us with Dream Up Your Ideal School. And Roxy and I and a few other art teachers at the time kind of sat down and were like, and then we were actually approached by a math teacher who had worked at an arts-infused school and started dreaming the dream from that point. So it was really an initial conversation between a math teacher and a group of art teachers, and I believe Eric Jackson, one of the science teachers, was involved pretty early on. So it started from there. We had to go through a proposal phase. It went through, we wrote a 42-page proposal and went through various levels of approval through the school and through the district, and were accepted, and 2 years later we're halfway through, or most of the way through our first year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and what we were really trying to do was to create a school that took kind of the best out of art, which was that creativity piece that allowed students to be successful, and put it into all of the core areas. And then also trying to address what was happening in the world, that the creative economy, which is so important, is preparing students to be members of a creative economy.
So students that have chosen to be a part of our small learning community, Da Vinci, have chosen it for the right reasons. As we went through our initial round of SLC applications, everyone has to state a reason why they chose Da Vinci, and every one of them was really right on the nose, right on the mark with why they were coming to Da Vinci and what separates it from the other opportunities they have at Durango High School. So it really does make the student population united from the beginning. They're all here to learn in a similar manner, and they have, whether it's an artistic passion or the computer passion or the engineering passion, it's combined and intertwined, and so that's been really a great part of Da Vinci too. So we coordinate and go over to the middle schools and talk to the 8th grade teachers and talk to the 8th graders. We have parent nights, so it's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of informative meetings so that kids make the right choices. So it's always fun to meet those kids, and they're all excited, and it really does kind of bring the energy back to me, and so it absolutely will grow to a point where those kids then market to the next generation, and that's where we're at this year, is having the kids help sell the school.
Well, your 9th graders will be with you next year for 10th grade.
Correct.
Your 10th graders go on to 11th, so they're no longer in that learning community.
Correct.
But then so you'll always have this new batch of 8th graders coming into 9th, but then you have those that have been here a year to kind of norm them to what you're doing.
We're actually, as we are developing our second-year curriculum for foundations, that's one of those components that we're really trying to build into what we're calling our 10th grade, our capstone project, is some sort of that mentorship where the 10th graders are mentoring, and just this is what Da Vinci is. This is the type of work we're expected of, and so that's the next step, is getting the kids to really mentor and foster and then inspire the next group coming in. It was funny because I remember as the art teacher, I kept having to stress and emphasize that I didn't want to see this become just an arts integrated school, that the core of what I think pushes artistic thinking is creativity, and I believe that's the essential component that we continuously emphasize and market through our whole, and still through our existence.
So you have a certain 5 E's, you have arts infused, and you have a set of creativity skills that you're working with. And these are deliberate skills with names and definitions, and they're flexible in how you can use them. The tools are very specific. You've brought in a very, very scholarly piece of creativity and upped it from just the natural promotion of creativity to a more deliberate and level. And that takes continual practice and keeping your teaching faculty informed.
I think the thing that really sets our school apart, at least from the other small schools we have here at Durango High School, is the foundations course that all of our freshmen take, and sophomores will be taking it too. And it's got 5 parts to it. There's an introduction to visual arts, which Krista teaches. There's an introduction to architecture and CAD. For kind of the inventor students. There's an introduction to music, kind of music appreciation, an introduction to drama and theater, and then there's 2 of us teachers who teach kind of an introduction to creative thinking. And so we have students do warm-up tasks with some creativity skills, and then maybe some longer like mini projects using those creativity skills, so they're really kind of putting them to work and then seeing how they might work in their other content areas as well.
And the overall idea with the foundations class was to teach students the core concepts of Da Vinci, so that they had a library to draw from as they moved into their core concepts, the core curriculum, and in every class, so that they were taking those skills and developing them into the core curriculum primarily. But we felt like we had to have a protected time to teach them the skills.
Right.
And that's proved to be very valuable.
So you have some creativity skills, and you have some divergent and convergent tools as well.
Yeah.
That are being taught.
Yeah, so I'm working off of those 18 creativity skills that...
The leap skills, the turns.
And then Robert Logan, who teaches the other part of the creativity, he's mostly focused on like divergent thinking skills and convergent thinking skills with the students.
Nice. And all the kids have that, correct?
All the
Every
students.
Da Vinci kid is
Yep.
required to take it.
And then they're seeing those things, again, within their core classes. So these things that they're learning in the foundations course are echoed again in their, math class and science class and English class. So they're using those skills in their core areas.
When you hit the ground running in the fall, it's your first year. What was it like?
It was a lot of work.
It's been a lot of work. It feels like everything Da Vinci is everything new. And as much as we've tried to look for things to beg and borrow and steal, we've really just been able to identify those core components to our methodology and pull them all together. And we're still
Still
inventing
putting it
that.
together. Sure.
Inventing that.
Wow. What a concept, Da Vinci inventing.
Right.
So you really live in creativity,
Yeah,
not
we're
just
role modeling. We're role modeling. That was the
ambiguity,
goal.
tolerance,
Yeah.
and risk-taking.
Yeah, everything. It was exciting, I think, at the beginning of the year. It was really neat to finally have the students here. We spent, the first day of school was a full day of orientation where we set up different activities. We incorporated some ideas from Odyssey of the Mind to get kids into the Da Vinci methodology. We did an arts project with them. We just did a treasure hunt to locate different rooms so that kids could be, just brought on to where Da Vinci is, what is your day going to look like, how are you going to be challenged, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But it has been a lot of hard work.
So what I'd like to ask the 3 of you is, what each of you think about what really excites you about being a Da Vinci teacher? What are those? What are those kind of things? Coming to the end of the first year, what do you like the best about it? What do you like about the students having this experience and you teaching in this?
And from a teaching perspective, I just get really excited, you know? I mean, all of these new kind of creativity skills that I'm trying to weave into what I'm doing. I mean, I as a teacher get excited, the students are producing better work. It's kind of the thing I knew going through school and then trying to teach school that was always missing, and has finally clicked as kind of this missing component that really needed to be nurtured. So just excited.
And I agree. Being an art teacher, I think the idea of using creativity to make connections across the curriculum is a tremendous concept. The excitement to me is that we really have developed this specific to our vision. It's a very homegrown vision for what we know of our students and our community. Durango's a very artistically, it's a little flourishing community, and so it's been really neat to have this school reflect the community. As you've been here a few times, people that make a living in Durango, you have to be creative. There's not a large economic base. You have a lot of entrepreneurs and self-employed people, and so it's really neat to see this school reflect the community.
Yeah, and I think what's exciting for me, because I teach math and German, is just like the ideas I get from my creativity course and the foundations, I get to try some of that stuff out in my math and German class as well. So I find that my teaching has become more creative, and I don't have to sell the activities to the kids. They self-selected into DaVinci, and so they already, it's stuff they want to do, and they're ready to engage on that level, and so that's been really fun. So.
There's just a wonderful atmosphere. There's a great way that people interact with each other. The rooms are really very print-rich, very much you can see students have hands in projects, and there's a visual component, and there's all kinds of very rich creative activities that have happened. You can walk into a room and see that. But you can also see the engagement of the students.
Trial and error, and a lot of error. A lot of just figuring out what is working and what's not working. And that's really where DaVinci is at. I think we, having had our first 7 months, where are we at in our school year?
7, I think, is we have, yeah.
7 months?
7 months. You know, we really are at a point where we're going to need to really sit down and reflect and look at the work that we've done, and you know, just kind of assess where we're at and what we need to move forward. It's that creative process. We're always in there, and reflecting on it is huge. So I think that's our next immediate step, where the faculty has to come together.
Excellent. Well, congratulations, because you've really got a great start to the first year.
Thanks to
And,
you
know,
for everything you've brought to us.
Well, I came back and you all look sane. So I'm thinking
It's
that's
just
pretty
a veneer.
Like, really?
It's pretty good for the first year, I'd say. So you really should pat yourselves on the back. So. Well, great. I really appreciate you taking your lunchtime. And anyone who's watching this as a teacher knows that half hour is very valuable. So thanks.
Thank you.